My name's Chris Beaty, and I like telling stories. Some of my stories are funny, some of them are dumb, but if I do it right, they're all entertaining. This is As Told by C.S. Beaty. This story is about the two things that are easily the most important things in the world to citizens of Grand Island, Nebraska: fiberglass lawn ornaments and Target. Fiberglass lawn ornaments. Art is a reflection of the artist's inner and outer world during the period of creation. Rubin. Italy has frescoes, Paris has oil paintings, Mexico has a stone wall with skulls carved in it of the people who won a ball game and got their heads chopped off, and Grand Island has oversized fiberglass lawn ornaments. And we're damn good at it. Less than a mile from E3 was the not-so-private collection of one of these master artisans. His spacious front yard was more sprawling than most, which made it a perfect canvas to fill with masterpieces. Fiberglass deer, fiberglass bears, fiberglass moose, posed in graceful tranquility in the most serene of wooded getaways. Then he said fuck it and added a dinosaur, sasquatch, and a bunch of cacti. It's awesome. My visiting friends never got it. But they also never saw it during Christmas when the guy put a Rudolph nose on one of the deer. I mean, how great is that? There are more beauties out there in our great city, enough to create a fiberglass scavenger hunt. There's the giant cow with a marquee sign advertising steak. When one steakhouse closed, the cow moved to a different steakhouse. There's the giant rooster in front of the 24-hour diner Tommy's, which is also on its second life after it migrated from a farm supply store that went out of business. A gigantic roller skate beckoned all to skin their knees on the wooden floor of Skate Island. It used to rotate and have flashing light bulbs around the sides, but one day it broke and no one bothered to fix it. Rounding out the inanimate objects category, a giant hammer is on top of the local Ace Hardware franchise. When the hammer started to deteriorate, it was replaced with a brand new, even better hammer. But the Sistine Chapel of Lawn Sculpture wasn't the shark head mounted above the doorway of Bonsai Pizza, but the junkyard/auto body shop 4 blocks away from my childhood home in the not-so-great part of town. This virtuoso/car mechanic wanted to share his gifts with the world, but also didn't want any car strippers tearing apart his scrap metal. The solution? He made characters out of car parts, welded them to poles, and hoisted them above his fence line so the world could admire them from the street. The collection made the front page of the Grand Island Independent newspaper after he made a chili dog car with Coney Island George driving it. Even though we didn't have much to work with, we still found a way to create something uniquely ours. Target. I exist is the signal that throbs under most voluntary writing and all good writing. David Foster Wallace. The final tour stop is not a destination but a lack thereof. It is the embodiment of our town's angst, disappointment, and low self-esteem. It is the daily reminder of all we lack, the one small thing that if we could just obtain, then we'd be something. We'd have made our mark. We'd matter. We'd arrive. We'd do more than just exist. But that's not on the tour. We don't have a target. I don't mean Target in a teleological sense. I mean the department store. The fact that we didn't have this fucking place to shop has been the bane of our existence. That godforsaken cesspool of a town Kearney has one, and we all had to vacation 45 minutes away to do our back-to-school shopping for those few classy items. Every tax dollar my mom spent in Kearney for my new clothes probably funded a methadone clinic. The reality is, Grand Island was more of a Walmart kind of town, full of Walmart kind of people. We aspired to be the Target shopping type, but that's just not who we were. Shopping at Target was like taking your wife to a steakhouse on your anniversary. It's nice to indulge, to pretend as though this was the lifestyle you lived, and it's fun to pretend. But as soon as the waitress brings you the check, you are reminded that that's not who you are at heart. You can't pretend forever. I didn't know there was a stigma about Walmart until I got to college and my friends made fun of how often I shopped there. Eventually, I understood when I looked around at all the pajama pants and oversized Tweety Bird airbrush t-shirts adorning my fellow shoppers. In Omaha, these people looked out of place. I thought they just looked like islanders. We loved Walmart so much that it was a highlight of my adolescence when they announced that they would be building not one, but two new Walmart stores in Grand Island. Damn right, we're a two Walmart town. Fuck you again, Carney. I mean, I loved Walmart. So much so that my friends and I hung out there. Noah and I invented this game where we separated and tried to find an item that would make the other person laugh. We'd establish a rendezvous point, break for 25 minutes, and then present our discovery to the other and watch his reaction. It was great. He won with a book written by the dog whisperer Cesar Milano. Walmart was one of 4 places open past 9 p.m. that welcomed minors. When I was on staff at Camp Augustine and had the night off, we ran the circuit between Bosselman's Truck Stop, McDonald's, Tommy's Restaurant of Fiberglass Rooster fame, and both Walmarts. One time, we did the whole trip in Native American regalia and saw the same drunk guy at the truck stop and Tommy's. Clearly, he was as tuned into the Grand Island nightlife as we were. I bet he gave his meth dealer a big tip when he started seeing Indians follow him around. My dad was in such a state of excitement and disbelief that he used the news of the 2 Walmarts as a conversation starter. In middle school, I went to a national wrestling tournament in Denver. I was a terrible wrestler, but my parents volunteered to drive, so I made the team. Olympic gold medal winning wrestler Rulon Gardner was making an appearance and signing autographs. If you're not sure who that is, he completed one of the greatest upsets in Olympic history, then almost died after being buried in the snow after a snowmobiling accident. He lost a toe and kept it in a jar in his fridge, got super fat, and then won the reality competition The Biggest Loser. If that's not a resume, then don't come to me for career advice. As I waited in line for a signature, I got a little starstruck. But Rulon led the conversation. Where are you from? Grand Island, Nebraska. You've probably never heard of it. Oh, I know Grand Island. You do? Yeah, I went to school in Lincoln. I'm a Husker. I've been there a couple of times. My dad couldn't help himself. Dad. So you know how big Grand Island is? Rulon. Yeah, I think so. Dad. Can you believe that we're getting 2 Walmarts? Rulon could believe it, or couldn't. He mostly didn't know what he was supposed to say. He signed my shirt, took a nice photo, and moved us along without matching my dad's enthusiasm. He was mostly just happy that my dad was so happy. He could tell this was important to him. As Told by C.S. Beaty is written and produced by Chris Beaty. This episode about my hometown of Grand Island, Nebraska, was an excerpt from my memoir about being a loser in high school, titled, you guessed it, Loser. If you want to listen to more chapters, I have a few on my website, csbeaty.com. But better yet, read the book! It even comes with pictures that I paid somebody a shit ton of money to make for me. To download the entire audiobook, also check out csbeaty.com/loser, or ask your library to buy a copy. They'll do it if you ask nicely. Signing off from the greatest city on earth, Omaha, Nebraska. Sorry, Grand Island.